Yeah, and real quick, you know what I'm saying, we want to speak on something else. We want to speak on the effects of, what I like to say, genocide and, confidential witnesses, or what's it called, cooperating witnesses, and stuff like that. So, scenario being, uh, you know, my guy, Jameer Edmonds, you feel me? That's my cousin and all that. But yeah, when it was like at the same time in 2012 when I caught a case, he after a few months, I guess, he got arrested for a case. But I was on the juvenile unit, and we just see each other in passing and stuff like that. But while we were seeing each other in passing, I kind of learned that uh, he had kind of got arrested. But then after a few months or whatever, we couldn't see each other anymore. So long story short, he had got charged with a homicide case, and he was innocent in the case. Excuse me. He was innocent in the case. It was just a case of a cooperating witness, and that's what that's where it boils down to like genocide, or you might say being you know being convicted under like false pretense. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fabrication, a lot of illegal tactics. To a conviction. You know what I'm saying? A trial, whatever, stuff like that. So he was just a case in point. You know, based on the scenario that he had. The scenario was basically, it wasn't no direct evidence, or it wasn't anything linking him to a crime that they charged that they had charged him with. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a cooperating witness to cooperate, and while he's like charged for, I guess he got charged with a crime. So, like, the cooperating witness was, already like convicted felon, whatever, and then he ended up charged with a crime himself and all that. So the thing is, he made the statements that he made, and he cooperated, and he, participated at the trial. And if I'm quite sure it was like a judge trial and stuff like that. So when he went with a judge trial, it was like I said, it wasn't no direct evidence or physical evidence linking him to the actual crime that occurred that they charged him with. It was just a cooperating witness that made statements, and stuff like that. And again, this is with a judge trial. So the judge found him guilty based off of he say, she say. Even though this cooperating witness is saying something along the lines that he's seen what he's seen with his own eyes. But the whole thing was the cooperating witness was basically on the tip of I seen that's like saying I seen Mr. Such and such 2 weeks ago. And then 2 weeks later anything occurs. So it's like, okay, you seen such and such 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Right? But who's to say you even seen such and such 2 weeks ago? So it was just like he say, she say. Like, oh, you seen this person? We don't know if you seen this person. You seen this person hours and days ago. We don't know if you seen this person hours and days ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, furthermore, that don't put this person nowhere near this actual crime scene. Whatever day later, or whatever day, whatever hours, whatever this happened, that don't wouldn't link this person to that or that or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. So it was like basically surrounded by like he say, she say, and the cooperating witness. He made those statements, at the trial under duress and everything like that, and I'm quite sure he had some kind of deal in place where he was getting shown some kind of leniency, based on the criminal charges that he had himself. And, outside of that, he probably was, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm probably quite sure he was probably an informant already. So it was like, I don't know, it was some kind of promise on the table. I'll just say that. You know what I'm saying? It was some kind of promise on the table and everything like that. And then he made those statements under oath and, and stuff like that. So when all of that took place, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was like a promise on the table. And, when the trial was scheduled and everything like that, he tried to recant his whole statement, or not necessarily recant it, but he basically declared that he didn't even want to participate at the trial and testify at all. And, like it was a scenario of, you got a man, he's crying, he's basically kicking and screaming to his family, you know what I'm saying, everything to the state attorney or whatever. Yeah, he's not even trying to, follow through with his statements at all. You know what I'm saying? Question being why? You know what I'm saying? It's only a few reasons why, you know what I'm saying? The obvious reason was he's probably not telling the truth. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, he's not only was the guy not telling the truth, you know what I'm saying? He probably was promised something. And then when it come time for him to actually testify, he probably, just didn't really feel like he was really up to that. You know what I mean? So that's why he's crying at the trial. That's why he's slobbering. Oh, no, I don't want to do it. And he's screaming. And basically all that, you know what I'm saying? Like a real dramatic scene of somebody that's telling everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to do this at all. Like, I don't want to go through with this. And they still forced him to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, force the person to do it. You know what I'm saying? But why? How? You know what I'm saying? How do you force a person to testify at a trial if this person don't want to do it? Because it's a promise on the table. Because it's something you holding over their head. So all of that is basically like, it's basically like malicious prosecution. You know what I'm saying? It's basically like a form of negligence, you know what I'm saying? And all that. So that's why it's like the whole conviction, it didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? To base a conviction off of a cooperating witness that's saying, oh, I seen such and such at 1 o'clock. And then at 1:45, something happened. But you ain't see who did something at 1:45. You just, all right, so you could have seen 10 people walking down the street. But based on him being an informant and he talking about and all of this other stuff that he's mentioning or, trying to associate this and that person, this person, and all of that, they take his word for face value. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when it comes to the trial, he don't even want to testify. They force the guy to testify. You know what I mean? So it's like malicious prosecution. You know what I mean? And then this guy that made these statements under oath in front of the court, under duress. Like it should have been dismissed. It should have been found not guilty from the judge. You know what I mean? From a judge, I mean, I'm not a judge I didn't pass the bar, but in my opinion, you feel me? I really think it was really something that was supposed to get dismissed. You know what I mean? It was supposed to get dismissed, and if it was a jury trial, I mean, come on. If it was a jury trial, 12 people finding somebody guilty, when the person on the stand is crying and screaming with a criminal record that he don't even want to testify after he said something, and you ain't even see this person do anything. You just seeing this person hours or days before something happened to somebody else or somewhere else. But because you a confidential informant trying to connect dots for the police and all this other stuff, or associate this person with that person, associate this person with that, then it's like they take your word for the police take your word for face value and put you on a stand. Like so, but in front of a 12 panel jury, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that would have been. That's not enough of a burden of proof. That's not enough to pass the burden of proof. Literally, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just like a small case of circumstantial evidence, if anything. And then the guy is under duress, screaming he don't even want to be there testifying in front of his whole family. So that was the whole thing. Like, and then since it was a judge trial, the judge still found him guilty, and then give him a life sentence with no chance of parole. You know what I'm saying? Like just a smooth smack to the face. Furthermore, even more. So I want to speak on that, man, because like stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, just contributes, and you can, and, you know, we can give it a definition if we choose to. And I like to say genocide, or you could just say, you know what I'm saying, the tactics that you might see in a RICO case, for instance. You know what I'm saying, where these officials or this agency or whatever or whoever might be in the pursuit of, you know what I'm saying, whatever kind of investigation, you know, is doing like malicious tactics, you know what I'm saying, illegal tactics to, you know, pursue their outcome and stuff like that. And, you know, I just want to say that, man, like, you know, free the innocent people, you know what I'm saying, like, and all that. And, you know, for those that's out there, the younger youth, you know what I'm saying, man, be mindful, you know what I'm saying, of you know, anything that could occur, you know what I'm saying, like just because you in a situation, you know what I'm saying, like even if you make the choice, you know what I'm saying, which you might feel like is a mistake after you do it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not going to encourage, you know what I'm saying, telling at all, or, you know, pointing fingers, or, you know, or anything of that nature. But if you make any kind of statement, even if you're not telling on somebody else, you know what I'm saying, always just keep in mind, like, you know what I'm saying, if you telling on somebody else, you made the wrong decision. I see that. If you telling on somebody else, I feel like you just made the wrong decision. No matter how you try to cut that. You write a statement, or you on a camera and you talking to police and you telling on somebody else or informing about somebody else, you making the wrong decision. I'll say that. But even if you make a statement to police about yourself or about a scenario and you're not telling on nobody at all, you're not even incriminating anyone, you know what I'm saying, it still can be used against you. But just because it can be used against you don't mean that what you saying or what you might say on a record, you know, when you're being interrogated or questioned, it don't mean that they can use it, it can be used against you. It don't mean that they should or they're allowed to. So that's why you got to understand, like, when you talking to investigators, police, and all that, if you make statements under duress, you know what I'm saying, like, it's not even really supposed to be permissible, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to go to trial or if you going to have a suppression hearing, you feel me? Like, because you making statements under tremendous pressure, you feel me? You might say anything. Don't mean it's true, you feel me? Like, you might just be in a panic. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like making a statement under duress. You know what I'm saying? Making a statement under that tremendous pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, and whatnot. So, like, keep in mind, you feel me? Like, making statements under duress, you feel me? That's a real issue, and that's kind of like what they base their conviction of. You know what I'm saying? With my cousin, you feel me? Like, and you know, I never spoke on, you know, nothing. You know what I'm saying? As far as like somebody criminal case that they was dealing with, or I rarely even spoke on mine, you feel me? Because it's just like, you know, not something that, you know, I ever really thought to do, you know what I'm saying? But when we growing up and when we seeing this kind of stuff going on, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, other people need to understand, like, making statements under duress, you know what I'm saying, is something that's not really allowed to be permissible. Like, you gotta fight that. You feel me? Like, you gotta understand that if you're gonna make a statement under duress, that's an issue for you to like really, like, if you're gonna go forward and go to trial or go to a suppression hearing, that's something that you gotta make sure you put that on record. Like, no, it is whatever I said is under duress. If it's really under duress. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's really a scenario of you tremendously nervous, you don't know what's going on, you coerced, you feel me? You under the influence. You feel me? You're a juvenile. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those circumstances is like you under duress. Like you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? You uneducated. Like you got mental health disabilities. Like all that stuff is like you can say anything. You can say the wrong thing. But I'm just going to, again, clarify it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to inform or tell on the next person, whether you're going to say you was under duress or not, you made the wrong decision. So I'm not going to encourage to make the wrong decision or make it seem like even though you're under duress, you made the wrong decision. It's okay because it's not okay. So I'm not going to promote that, encourage that, or let that be something that's just a thought that can linger. Like no, because that's something I haven't done. That's something I don't do. So I will say though, since this guy was a cooperating witness and he made those statements, kind of like under duress at a trial, that's what I'm speaking about. Statements made under duress. You know what I'm saying? He was forced to testify at a trial. It should have been thrown out. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only real piece of evidence that they kind of based the whole trial off of. So, and that being the case, I think that's probably why the defense counsel went in the direction of a judge trial, because it's like there's nothing else here but this cooperating witness, and then they trying to piece everything else together off of a unfactualized conspiracy theory type of situation or something. So I think that's probably why the defense counsel was comfortable with going with a judge trial. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it definitely was probably a scenario like that. You know what I'm saying? Where I wasn't there. You feel me? When the trial was going on, because the trial was going on when I was like in college or something like that. And then I came home from college, and it was like towards the end of his trial and his situation for that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, you know what I mean? That was a tough scenario. So now it's been like 12, 11 years or something. So yeah, man, free the guys, you know what I'm saying? Free my guy, man. Like a good stand-up guy, you know what I'm saying? Like he's innocent in that scenario, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all. You feel me?